All right. Greetings. Greetings, dear Gemini. This one is for you. That's you, Gemini. This is your general report from Terra Lumination for what we call July 2018. Now, before we get into the cards, because this is such a special month, I want to give you a few astro doodles from Terra Lumination, just to hopefully add a little bit more clarity, maybe some spice. Think of it as side dishes, you know, aperitifs, appetizers, however you want to think of it. Okay, Gemini? For a start, just put some calendars. Mark your calendar for significant dates already. Here we have number one, June 27th. Okay, you've already passed that, but this was the big full moon right at the end of July, and you're going to be integrating all that stuff that culminated here for the next 2 weeks until you get to the Cancer new moon eclipse, July the 12th. Mark your calendar. And that will take you on another journey, 2 weeks lunar cycle, all the way to the full moon eclipse, July 27th. Mark that on your calendar. That's when the sun goes into Leo and the moon is in Aquarius. That's going to trigger another 2-week journey way into August. Okay, we're stretching this reading. We'll get to this later in August, but this is part of the eclipses of what, okay? So new moon eclipse, August 11th, sun and moon in Leo. So we're covering a lot of territory here. Mark those dates, 4 significant dates. This is what it looks like on a Terra Lumination Astro Doodle. As you know, this is a highly professional channel, and we do things properly here, as you can tell. So let's start off the month, okay? Here is the Cancer Capricorn full moon, right at the end of June, and that's going to take those 2 weeks to integrate. So everything that culminated here, June 27th, is going to start to sort of percolate through you and become more clear and understood by the time you get to the eclipse here on July 12th. I know that's perfectly written. You can see that. There it is, July 12th. Okay. So this is happening in your second and eighth house axes about money, value, values, and others. So what is it that came to your awareness, full awareness, at that full moon at the end of July regarding how you relate to others and how others relate to you regarding value, values, resources, and shared resources between you and between another and you? Answer that question, figure that out, digest it and understand it, and then bring it over here into new awareness, July 12th. This is the eclipse. This is a very significant eclipse because it marks, this is like a glimpse of what's going to start to happen in 2019 when we get wall-to-wall eclipses here on the Cancer Capricorn axis. Okay, so for you, it's a lot of it's probably going to do with money and shared resources, like the kind of things that happen when you strike a deal, or you get married, or you you inherit property, or you get tax refunds. How do all those things work with you? Is it because you married somebody or you inherited things? What value are you bringing to this equation? So it's going to be a long journey. We'll have other reports on that. So keep going. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 2 weeks. Uh-oh, new moon eclipse. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Full moon eclipse. Oh gosh, here it is. Okay, it's over here. This is the Aquarius full moon eclipse, July 27th. And it's up here in your 10th house, 9th house, excuse me, 9th house over here. So what is coming to your full awareness? What have you learned? What great new heights of wisdom have you achieved in the next 2 weeks toward getting to the very tippy end of the month? Because those new levels of awareness are going to impact you in how you do business and how you communicate in life and business with co-workers, co-mates, and what you in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so this over here, this is the August 11th eclipse. So this is kind of out of range right now, but please allow that a lot of stuff is going to culminate and come to the surface for you over July and coming out into August. Wall-to-wall eclipses, 3 eclipses in a row. So there's a lot to integrate here. With the Leo Aquarius axis, it's kind of harmonious for you, so it might not be so cathartic and radical and unpredictable even though we do have the Aquarius energy. But it's all, a lot of this is going to be about what is coming to your higher conscious awareness about like the big issues in life, the big pictures, uh, like a global perspective, travel, looking at life from a much higher perspective, and then getting a much better understanding. And then once you integrate that into your full consciousness, bringing that back down to earth here, to be able to function at the day-to-day level, listening and speaking, communicating, interacting, doing business with yourself and others, and having a whole new start over there. Anyway, that's enough. I just wanted to give you a glimpse, okay? Let's just go into the tarot now. Watch for your sun, moon, and rising, okay? You know the drill if you've been here before. If your sun, moon, and rising are all different, you need to watch 3 separate videos. And if you're really curious about these things, watch for all the other significant people in your life too. It's amazing how it all connects together like a tapestry. It's mind-boggling. Cards are already well shuffled in advance. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. We're just sticking to the basics. Okay, and we're going to use a Tarot Lumination beating heart spread. Get to the very core of you, because without that, there's nothing. None of it matters. So the whole idea with this spread is to get you closely in spiritual alignment as possible with yourself. Okay, heart to you and you to heart. Again, because without that, nothing else happens. You can be so intellectually advanced, have amazing careers, the hottest boyfriends, girlfriends, cars, adventures, or whatever, excitement and thrills. But if it's all out of alignment with the heart, none of that matters. So let's get to it. The cards are well shuffled, but I'm going to just go, well, we're done now, so I'm going to cut it all up. And please bring your team in with you. Think of Team Gemini, your angels, your spirit guides, the ones who watch over you from the great beyond, okay? Bring that in with you, okay? Over here, deep heart of you. The heart needs what it needs. It wants what it wants. And it's up to you to provide this, okay? The heart does everything for you. Without this, there's nothing. And the heart pumps all the nutrients where they need to go and removes all the wastes, puts them out where they need to go. And when you are very closely aligned with your heart energy, you increase your chances of a happier, healthier, more successful, fulfilling life for yourself. Number 1, love thyself. And from there, everything else follows. You'll see in a moment. Over here, what are you bringing in with you? What kind of legacy? Are you stressed out from the last few months? Are you riding a wave of high? Are you kind of in the middle, struggling with all the eclipses from 6 months ago, getting freaked out with this batch of eclipses? Whatever it might be. Over here, the energy of the ever-present now. This is where we are now. A lot of people are uncomfortable with that. They'd rather linger in the past and project into the future, or stick with the status quo, or outsource all of their life and their decisions and their happiness and their, let's say, outcomes to fate or other people, institutions, activities, expectations, obligations, and everything like that. So this is why it's such a critical heart. If you can find a way to be present and now, that's where you own your power. That's where you own all your powers, right here in the now, in this moment. Because it is in the now where you can activate and make your decisions most effectively. The healing power of your decisions to love thyself. Okay? I know it's a theme we go on and on about here at Tarot Lumination, but that's what it's all about here. So that's why we do it. Okay, over here now, because with your decision-making faculties, that's how you actually execute your evolution. That's how you express and get your evolution to happen. That's how you grow. Love thyself most effectively. So how do you actually do that? Once this is actually in motion, think of it as a slow motion heartbeat. And all the chambers of the heart are doing what they do. And we're kind of in the flow here. Okay. So when you're in the flow and you kind of understand this and you see it as a formula, oh, it's actually like a practice. Oh, yeah, I get it now. Then you create consequences, which is the same as saying that you are a co-creator in your life. It's like you are now understanding that there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on out there that's completely invisible, but it affects all of us all day, every day. It's this stuff here. This stuff affects you. You know, you might be a Gemini sun, rising, or moon, but if you're something else, it would be like this, or this, or this, or this. Either way, this energy's out there. So what are you going to do with this stuff? Okay? That's what we're talking about here. That's how you co-create. You take full ownership of all that stuff that's out there, even if you can't see it, and then you bring it into your zone, stay present, make your decisions accordingly, own your power. So what happens if you abdicate? What happens if you just decide it's just too much work? I'm spiritually lazy. I'm spiritually bankrupt. I don't give a doo-doo. I'd much rather just someone else tells me what to do and how to do it. Then that's kind of like giving up on yourself, and it's taking the easy way out. It's trying to take shortcuts through life. What would that look like over here? It's essentially another form of failure. What happens when you do take full ownership? You stay in your power. What does that look like? That's good. It's the same card, but it's the inverse, okay? So over here, prospects and momentum setting you up for the next heartbeat. Every decision that you make second by second of every day affects the next heartbeat. You might as well get used to it and then act accordingly. Make decisions accordingly. Get yourself closer and closer and closer into alignment with this. Love thyself, number one. So I hope you can see here, this is your heart. This is more like your heart aura, and this is the aura around you, okay? That comes from here, all right? So we're going to look at the weather, circumstantial energy, and see what that entails. And you, Gemini, of course, like everyone else, are going to make the best of it, because what else are you going to do? Okay, with the Three of Wands here, my feeling is that you're actually in kind of a good place right now. You're in the zone. Yeah, the Cancer Capricorn is kind of odd energy for you, but once we drift into the Leo Aquarius eclipses, they're very harmonious for you. Yes, they are eclipses, and yes, eclipses are challenging and very interesting for everybody, but because they are by nature sextiles and trines in the astrology, this could really work for you without you having to have your whole life blown up, okay? So my feeling here is, yeah, you're starting to see the consequences of previous actions, previous decisions that were healthy, but you're also noticing what happens when you're out of sync, because either way, this is a card that would indicate like karmic returns, okay? So you're reaping what you sow, and it's great. It's great to see the good stuff when it comes in, like, wow, I actually planned this and it's actually starting to happen. Wow, you see it in your environment, your relationships, your surroundings, your people, your finances, your journeys, your travels, your higher consciousness, all of it. And that can be very satisfying. And obviously focus on the positive. Be aware of the challenges, but focus on the positive. What's your heart saying? Okay, cool. Look at this, King of Wands. So you must be doing something right. My feeling is that, to me, this feels like really good energy at the heart core center. This is almost like literally glowing, radiant heart energy in its own right. King of Wands here. This would indicate that if you are out of alignment, Gemini, it's probably really seriously out of alignment, and your heart is shouting out very loudly, dear, dear owner of me, who's basically supposed to take care of me, please understand that this is how I am. This is how I like to be. This is how we need to be together. And anything that's not this, you need to take care of that. Oh, okay. Sorry, but I was neglectful. Pardon me. Okay. So, but meanwhile, please understand that we're pretty good. We're actually doing really well. So whatever you were doing to get to this point, thank you. I love you. I love you. Wow, really? Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. So we got this? Yeah, we got this. Cool. So this is very encouraging, because the King of Wands energy is about like great leadership, great courage, inspiration for others, pioneering spirits, being able to like go to the next level all the time fearlessly and wear the crown accordingly. And that's a tough journey to get there. To be able to radiate this kind of energy, it's not something you can just, go to a thrift store and buy like a crown from a, some weird theater party or something and put it on your head and say you're that. You can't just go to a costume store and put this stuff on and act like this. It's not going to work. This is the real deal, Gemini. Well done. What are you bringing in with you? Okay, look at this. Cheapers. Okay, with the Ace of Wands, my feeling here is that uh, you've already been figuring these things out. You must have done a lot of work on yourself. My feeling is that earlier this year, maybe with the Aquarius Leo eclipses 6 months ago, you already got a sniff of where things were heading. You decided, I'm going to focus on the good stuff. I'm going to make the best of all these things. And now you're here. It's almost like if you were sitting here hanging out and you were over there and I'm over here at the Tarot Illumination stage. And I say, well, what's going on, Gemini? And you say, well, I got this going on. It's like I'm really, really excited. I can see new opportunities opening up in front of me where I get to really be me more than ever before. It's been very challenging, like for everybody else. I know that. I have a star sign, sun sign, moon sign like everyone else, but I've done everything I can. And I'm going to go for it. I understand that this is a gift. I understand that the ace is a gift. It's an opportunity, and I'm going to go for it. I don't know where it's going to lead exactly, but I'm going to go for it because that's what I want. That's what I deserve because I am that awesome. And then Tarot Illumination says, that's very encouraging, Gemini. Well done. I'm glad to hear this. I support you in your mission. How about the present? How about the now? Aha. Aha. To me, this indicates that let's err on the side of caution. So with the Two of Swords here, my feeling is that you're all prepped up, you're all geared up, and like emotionally, in terms of inspiration, drive, ambition, everything, to go for it and take full advantage of anything and everything that comes at you from all of this stuff here in July and into August and cruising through all the way till mid-September when this stuff starts to settle down. End of September, in fact. And that's good. So my feeling here is that it's almost like, again, pretend we're in the meeting and I say, okay, well, that's great. Well done, Gemini. Thank you. Thank you. Good to hear this. So what about now? And then you kind of come back down to earth here. And it's like, well, actually, Tarot Illumination, I've got to admit to you, I am struggling with certain core decisions, okay? Sometimes I want to do this. Sometimes I want to do that. But what's really pissing me off is that I know if I choose that, I'm going to, negate this one. And I just don't know what to do right now. And so that might make me look like I'm wavering, even though I am this awesome inside already. And Tarot Illumination says, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. You're going through the same blitz storms as everyone else. It's okay. You have a right to feel like this. This is also, if you want to, you can say, you can award yourself the decision not to decide. You can say, right now, I think it's best if I just hold back. I'm not going to make any crucial decisions right now. I'm going to cruise through this 6-week period and figure out what to do then. Okay, I hope you don't mind. I say, it's a great attitude. It's a good attitude, okay, Gemini? Excellent. It's defensive, it's cautious, it's intelligent, it's observant, and that's very, very good news. It's in alignment here. It's in spirit. It's like you being aware that you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up the good stuff that's already coming. All right. So the thing is about the Two of Swords, it's very much about decisions. So, like we're always talking here about like the healing power of your decisions as a way to bring the healing power of love into your life from up above. Okay. So if we are in a position of stasis here, where it's deliberately chosen stasis as opposed to fear-based stasis, then how does this look when we come to making decisions day to day? Because you're still going to have to make decisions over the next 6 weeks as you come out of the eclipses. Okay. My feeling here with the Three of Swords is that this is, okay, first of all, this is not a love and relationship reading, so don't stress about it in that way. My feeling here is to combine these energies using your intellect and your, let's say, You know, if you think of yourself like a bug or an insect or something that has lots of antennas and you're sensing your environment and everything, my feeling is like, yes, come in with all your courage here, very aware and acutely aware that there's a lot of turbulence and upheaval and eclipse energy that's going to be happening here for everybody, you too. So, with everything that's being eclipsed out of your life and everything that's being eclipsed into your life, it looks like you're taking the posture of, I will decide when I decide I want to decide. So when you do decide, with the Three of Swords here, my feeling is that it's very important to pay attention to any red engine lights that are flashing anywhere. In other words, pretend you're a pilot and you're living through this period, you're shooting through the next 6 weeks. Pay very close attention to your dials and instruments, your dashboard, your sensory system, your antennae, your intuition, your thoughts, your speaking, your listening, anything that comes to you in terms of information, and anything that feels out of alignment with you that triggers a red alert inside your body and your mind, especially in the intellectual perceptions. Think of yourself like as you like you have an app. You know, it's like this is you. You're an app. You're a Gemini app, and you're living through your life, and you're pointing it here. Like, what is your GPS thing telling you? What are your apps telling you? Like, oh, danger, 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 danger. I could end up really hurt just from a few words from somebody. I could end up really hurting somebody with a few words. I have to be very careful about being stuck in the middle of conflicted energy that could be coming from other people. Do you see where we're going here? Ouch, 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 ouch. Treat this as a blessing, Gemini. Treat this as a very powerful app that tells you, beware, be careful when you make the next decision. Watch this first. Before you make any decisions, even the tiniest decisions, check your app first, okay? That's what I'm sensing here. So that would be a good posture, defensive, protective, thoughtful, conscientious way in moving forward, okay? So that you don't hurt anyone and no one hurts you and you stay kind of in the center. Treat this as like those, you know, that Waze app where it tries to get you through the really dense traffic. And so don't go that way. No, don't go that way. This is the way to go, all right? So how do we do this effectively? Because that could be kind of exhausting. But the thing is, for July, it's exhausting for a lot of us because we're all going through the same grind. The eclipses, 3 eclipses back to back. It's going to be just, it's going to rip people's lives apart for many of us in some way or another. Some aspect of your life, it's going to be really like shredded. So you might as well get used to it. So how are we going to live through this, get through this carefully, keep the courage, the enthusiasm, and understanding the amazing opportunities that are unfolding for you, but still having to navigate your way through with your new Tarot Lumination sat-nav GPS app to get you through. And how do you do that effectively? Okay, so that it works for you. With the Knight of Cups here, my feeling is when the app says it registers love coming at you, or where you need to administer love like a medicine, again, go back to your Tarot Illumination nav app, okay? So on one side of the app, there's the red alerts going beep, 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 beep. Careful, 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 careful. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, no, watch out, watch out, watch out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Over here is the other aspect of the app, which says, this is good. Go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. Come away from the conflicts over there. Walk away from the conflicts over there. Come here. Walk away from the wars. You can still be prepared to protect and defend yourself, but always come forward now looking for whatever your app qualifies and says, like your antenna are saying, love. This is the most loving thing to do now. So you're going to have to, it's like having to run 2 apps simultaneously, okay? So maybe you got 2 smartphones and you can do this simultaneously. That would be very cool. So that's what keeps you in alignment. In other words, the next 6 weeks, it could be very delicate for you, just like everyone else. And you're going to have to be on super high alert, and you're probably going to have to like move very cautiously. Be extremely aware. Watch for the red signals on that app. Watch for the love signals from this app. Whenever it blips on this one, act. Make your decision accordingly and move on. Okay? That's it. And in so doing, you create loving consequences. Love thyself. We should create a Terlumination app that makes all this stuff happen. If there's any brainiac Gemini intellectuals out there who does app development and we want to develop an app together, let's do it. Get in touch, okay? Terlumination.com, and then we'll figure it out. All right. So, and we'll become billionaires, okay? So, and we'll split it, okay, Gemini? Next, this is how you generate consequences. So it's a process, it's a formula. It's like survival of the fittest kind of thing. Okay. So what happens is you become acutely aware of the consequence of decisions, especially when it comes into relationship dynamics, okay? Looking here. Eclipses on the relationship dynamic. Eclipses on the relationship dynamic, okay? So you become very aware that your sense of poverty, your sense of impoverishment, of being rejected and left out, emotional impoverishment, relational, financial, domestic, whatever it is, intellectual, is very, very dependent on the relationship, the decisions that you make in the context of relationships, okay? Especially here with this axis, okay? When we're going into the Leo Aquarius axis here. So you understand that the decisions aren't all just based around you. It's about you in context with others. So with the Five of Pentacles, you can become very, very aware what doesn't work. So if you make a poor decision over here, you can end up like this. We haven't got to this card yet. I'll show you that in a second. But the point is to be acutely aware that your actions, your decisions, your thoughts, all your enthusiasm and integrity is extremely sensitized right now. And the only way this is going to work is when you take the loving action to love thyself. These folks here, they can endure anything, okay? Yeah, it's a really rough time right now, but allows them to get through. So even if this is a very challenging period for you, you still come out to the other side, okay? It's just that it might be a bumpy ride. Have you got the guts and the integrity? Like if you're married, for example, you're having a really rough time financially, are you prepared to get through that and come out the other side and act as resources for yourselves and each other, as opposed to blowing each other off and saying, I'm ruined because of you, or, well, I'm ruined because of you? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. You can understand the consequences of life where you realize so much of decision making involves who are you going to relate to, how, why, when, and who. Who, what, when, why, where, and how, okay? In order so that the energy of poverty comes into awareness here. It generates a consequence, which is something that you don't want. On the other hand, it's an indication that can you handle the long term. Over here, what if you mess up? What if you keep making decisions that, and like you ignore the red alerts and you effectively disempower yourself and you end up with this? Okay. With the Six of Pentacles here, my feeling is that you upset the extremely delicate balance between this and this. So in other words, your antenna need to be on an extremely acute, high alert setting right now, because the consequences of impoverishment are very high if you make an error, okay? The consequences of wealth and harmony and balance are very good when you act in the most loving way. So the question is, it might be a very steep learning curve, but it's worth learning. What is it that defines love? Can you define love? Do you have a definition for love in your life? What would that be? Sorry, this reading is getting long. I'm trying to wrap it up soon. Because over here, when you mess up, you lose all the balance. You end up on the poverty side. When you act from the loving perspective, you end up on the receiving side of bounty. You end up nourishing yourself. You get to the point where you can be so abundant that you can share your gifts and talents and resources with your significant others. Again, we go back to this axis here and this axis here. All right. So you see where it all weaves and intertwines into an intelligible story? Of course you do. Consequently, well, momentum. Let's have a look for the beat, for the next heartbeat. Good. You see? It's bringing evidence of love to you. Like it is a formula. Oh gosh, it's a formula. This is a Terralumination definition. Love is as love does. Evidence of love. Tangible physical evidence of love. Not concepts, not beliefs, not gestures, actions. Evidence. Love is the conscious, willing decision to extend yourself above and beyond your existing circumstances, status quo, comfort zone, in order to deliberately nurture, foster your own spiritual health and healing and growth and evolution. And from there, by extension, your loved ones. Okay? So coming from here, really good energy. That pans out to here, and it's very hard to do, let's just admit it. But when you get it right, it turns out to a massive love aura energy over here. So love breeds love. Love thyself. This creates this aura, which creates this aura. It's like a long-term investment plan. Think of it as like, oh God, it's a method. This is a practice, a long-term practice which you can learn and study and improve on and keep investing. It's just like every week, every day, every month that you make loving decisions, it's like filling up your piggy bank, your spiritual piggy bank. Well done, Gemini. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll spoil it. You can reinterpret this however you want. It's your reading. Do the routine, watch your sun, moon, and rising and all that. Thank you so much for coming to Terralumination. Bye-bye. Have a super, super time.